Hi everyone, this is Selina. I hope you're well. Welcome back to one of my videos. If you're new to my channel, my name is Selina and I release a crochet tutorial every week. And this week I'm really pleased to bring you this new vintage crochet series installment for this 19th century inspired shawl. It features a beautiful chain arc edging and embroidered flowers, and I will be taking you through this tutorial step by step. It's really easy and it's really fun. The free pattern, as always, will be on my blog selinaveronique.com. The link is in the description box. And yes, there will be plenty of photos on my blog, the free pattern, along with a lot of explanations on why this is part of my vintage crochet series. So for this tutorial, I used, for this project, I used Stylecraft Special DK yarn. So that's a light 3 yarn in American terms. You can substitute it with Bernat Softy Baby. And I used shade cream and a pink shade. Of course, everything that I used will be linked in the description box and obviously on my blog, so check that out along with the substitutes. I also used a 5mm crochet hook. I also used a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle. So I will be using US terms. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. So to begin this tutorial, you will be taking your yarn and you will be creating a slip knot. So just go ahead and create your slip knot like so. Pop your hook through, tighten, and like I said prior, we will be creating the C2C stitch for this shawl. So to create the C2C, we will start by chaining 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And once you've chained 6, you will be counting 1, 2, 3, 4 chains from the hook, and you will be placing your first double crochet into that 4th chain. So to make your double crochet, wrap your yarn around your hook and go into that 4th chain like so. Pull up a loop like this. You've got 3 loops on your hook. I'm actually going to zoom in. There we go. So you have 3 loops on your hook. Take your yarn, pull through 2 loops. Take your yarn, pull through 2 loops. And that creates a double crochet. And the first chain 3 here counts as your first double crochet. Now what we are going to be doing is placing a double crochet into the next chain. And another double crochet into the next chain, and this will create our first cluster of 4 double crochets. So now for row 2, we are going to be chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Turn your work. And so now we are going to once again be placing 1 double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So count 1, 2, 3, and 4 and go into that 4th chain with a double crochet. So this is simply a repeat of what we've just done. Go into the next chain and place a double crochet into that, and of course into the next chain and place a double crochet into that. And so the first chain 3 of course counts as a double crochet, and this is our second cluster of 4 double crochets. And now so this is what it looks like. What we are going to be doing is locating the space in the first square here, so the space between the 2 double crochets right here, and take your yarn and create a slip stitch to secure your project. So we've not yet finished row 2. This is only the first part of row 2. I hope it's clear. So I had turned my work prior, but if you hadn't turned your work prior and your work was still like this, you would turn this square, the first square, like this, and then of course, like I just explained, locate this space between 2 double crochets and slip stitch. So I hope this makes sense. We've not yet finished row 2, but this is probably the quote-unquote trickiest part of this project, of this stitch, so don't worry, you will get the hang of it. It's very easy. Just practice it. Practice makes perfect. So now to finish off row 2, we are going to be chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we are going to be working along this double crochet from the previous row, so this one here. So this is our first chain 3, and we are going to be working in this space here. So place a double crochet in this space. There we go. Place another double crochet in this space, and of course the chain 3 counts as a double crochet, and place a 4th double crochet like so in this space. And this is what it looks like, and if you turn it, it looks like this. So you see the shawl is starting to take form, and this is our row 2 finished. So as you can see, we are simply increasing the number of clusters of 4 stitches of double crochets throughout each row. So now for the next row, which is row 3, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Turn your work, and now you are going to be counting 1, 2, 3 and 4 chains from the hook, and as always place a double crochet into this stitch. The first chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Go into the next chain, place a double crochet into that, and go into the next chain and place a double crochet into that. And now you are simply going to be slip stitching your square to the square from the previous row, so like so, and just locate this space here like we did previously and place a slip stitch like so. So this is what it should look like for now. Now we are going to be chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3. This counts as our first double crochet. We are going to be working through this space and place 3 more double crochets through that space. So it's very easy to understand this process, like I said. So there we go. I've created 3 more double crochets. We have 4 in total, counting the chain 3. So we are going to secure it to the square from the previous row. So as you can see, very easy to understand this pattern. So slip stitch through that space, so the space created by the 2 double crochets. And now to finish off this row, we are going to be chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3. This creates our first double crochet. And now just place 3 more double crochets through this space to finish off these this square. So just There we go. And this is what it should look like, and as you can see there are 3 squares on our 3rd row. So each row we will be adding 1 square, so it's a pretty easy project. It's a very easy to understand. If you need more help, I am going to do a few more rows right now with you, so don't worry. But just if you did need more help after that, you could also rewind the video. So I'm just going to de-zoom. There we go, for the next row. So yeah, so just practice. It's a very easy stitch, but still it does need practice sometimes. So now I'm going to show you row 4. So chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Turn your work as always and count 1, 2, 3 and 4. So just make sure, so you 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Place a double crochet into that 4th chain. Go into the next chain and place a double crochet, and obviously the first 3 chains counts as a double crochet, and go into the last stitch, well, the last chain here, because these are chains, and this creates our first cluster of 4 double crochets for this row. As always, secure it to the square from the previous row like so with a slip stitch. And now we are simply going to be chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3, going into that space and placing 3 more double crochets into that. So just go ahead and place 3 more double crochets into that. And that creates a cluster of 4 double crochets. Go and secure it to the square from the previous row and chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and place another 3 double crochets inside that stitch to create your cluster of 4. There we go. And once you've done that, just secure this with a slip stitch, and now chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and this counts as our first double crochet, and place 3 more double crochets inside that space. There we go. There we go. And this creates our 4th row. So as you can see, this is a very easy crochet pattern. You will get the hang of it. I'm just going to show you one last time the 5th row, and then I'll let you carry on with this. So now chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Again, turn your work, so as you can see it's very repetitive. 1, 2, 3, 4. Locate that 4th chain and place a double crochet into that. Go into the next chain and place a double crochet into that. And now go into the last chain and place a double crochet into that, like so. And this creates our cluster of 4. Slip stitch through this, between these 2 stitches, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and this creates our first double crochet, and place 3 more double crochets in this place. So there you go. This creates another cluster. Slip stitch to the square next to it, and now chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and place 3 double crochets inside that space like so. And now slip stitch to the next stitch, and now chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, place 3 more double crochets inside that stitch space, 2 and 3, slip stitch through this space here, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, so chain 3, and now place 3 more double crochets within this space, and this creates our last cluster of 4 double crochets, and this is what it looks like, and this is row 5. So just carry on creating this pattern from row to row. It's very easy. As you can see, it's a very easy pattern. If you need more help in this with this section of the tutorial, just go ahead and rewind the video. So for this shawl, you will need in total 43 rows. So make sure you have 43 rows, and then once you have 43 rows, fasten off. And now I'm just going to show you how to create your border. Okay, so to create your border, it's really easy. So we are going to be using contrasting yarn, and I've chosen a pink, and it's also a DK weight yarn. I'm still using my 5mm crochet hook, and again, all the details are in the down bar and my my blog post where the free pattern is. So for all the details of which yarn I will be using, it is all linked in the down bar. So firstly, choose a side. So I've chosen this bottom corner. Obviously the border will be made on the V side of the wrap, so this side, so that's the straight edges. So we're going to attach our yarn here and then just make the border all the way up like this, and then we're just going to go down, all the way down again, but obviously I will be walking you through this step by step. So to begin, attach your yarn. So I'm just going to zoom in and just attach your yarn as best you can on one of the corners like so. I'm just going to make a double knot like so, and now you are going to pop your hook through and pull up a loop. Yeah, so we've pulled up a loop and we're just going to chain one. Sorry. So there we go. We've attached the yarn and chained one, and now we're simply going to go through each and every stitch and place a single crochet. So I've just placed a single crochet here, and I'm just going to go into the next stitch, and to create your single crochet, just pop your hook through directly through a stitch, pull up a loop. You've got 2 loops on your hook, and pull through 2 loops. And this is what I call the wrong side of the stitches. So just so there isn't always a specific stitch into which you can go, if that makes sense. So just make sure that your single crochets are evenly spaced, meaning that there isn't a specific amount of single crochets you need to place. So what I mean is just make sure that they are evenly spaced and that you place enough of your single crochets all the way along, because you don't want this project to tighten, if that makes sense. So if you place too few single crochets, your shawl is going to kind of crinkle up like this. So you want to make sure that you're placing enough single crochets all the way along so that you have a smooth border. So I'm just going to let you, and like I said, there's not a specific stitch into which you can go, so just do what you can. I'm just placing my single crochets as evenly as I can, and I'll meet you back once you reach the top V part of this shawl. Okay, so I'm back, and I hope you can see on camera. So I've gone up all the way up to the top of one side, and now I've got the other side to do, but I just wanted to show you what I'm going to do on the V part. So really I'm not going to do much on the V part. At the top of the V, which is also our first chain 3, or was it 4, the first chain for the center, I'm going to place, at the very beginning of the project, I'm going to place just a single crochet at the very top here. And then I'm just going to repeat what I've just done and place a single crochet all along the other edge until I reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you what to do then. So I'll just let you carry this on. Okay, so I've gone down to the very end of this side. This is what it looks like. And now I'm just going to show you row 2 of this chain arc edging. So this was row 1, and for row 2 what you will be doing is, obviously I've just turned my work, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and this goes with this first stitch here. So this chain 3 goes with this first stitch here. You're going to skip the next stitch. I'm just going to zoom in actually. Okay. So you are going to skip the second stitch, and you're just going to go directly into the third stitch with a single crochet. So like I said, this goes with this stitch, skip the second stitch and go into the third stitch directly with a single crochet and single crochet. Now chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip a stitch and go into the next and place a single crochet into that. Chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip a stitch and go into the next stitch. And this is really an easy pattern. Chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip a stitch and go into the next, because this chain arc edging is very easy to make. Chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip a stitch and go into the next stitch. So I'm just going to let you carry this on all the way around until you reach the other side of the shawl, and then I'll show you how to finish off this row. Okay, so I finished the second row, and I've just placed my last single crochet at the very end in the very last stitch, and now I've just fastened off, and I'm just going to pull my yarn through the last loop and tighten and create a knot. And this is how I finished this border. And now I'm just going to show you how to create your gorgeous applique embroidery flowers. So now I'm going to be getting into the applique embroidery section of this video. I hope you can tell on camera I've already embroidered 2 flowers onto my shawl, and obviously I will be walking you through my technique step by step. With this project, you can apply this embroidery technique to any crochet or knit project. It's very versatile. So yes, so I'm going to walk you step by step through this. So these 2 flowers, as you can see, are not identical. They're very similar, but they're not identical. And the whole point of this is that this is not going to be, how can I say, a completely symmetrical project. It's going to be one of those projects that's a bit like the flowers are not going to be symmetric. Here they're going to be approximately, it's going to have a harmony, if that makes sense. But I'm not looking for perfection. I'm not looking for each flower to be identical to one another. I'm just gonna go with what I feel I want to embroider, and I'm gonna go for a more boho look. So for this flower, I am going to use a piece of yarn and my tapestry needle, and the length of the piece of yarn that I have is 1 meter. So that's the piece of yarn that I have for now. I will be writing down on my blog how many inches that is, because I don't know off the top of my head. I'm going to select the place where I want the center of my flower to be, and it will be here for me. So just go ahead and place your tapestry needle through this and pull your yarn through, and you should have a piece of yarn of about this length left. And now I'm just going to create my first petal. So go through, so my first petal will be about 1 inch. There we go. And we are going to be placing the 5 petals first before working on the petals. So this is where I'm going to be placing the second petal. And as you can see, what I am doing is going from the top of a petal to the center of the flower. So we're not going from the center to the petal, but we are working from the outside in, if that makes sense. So from the end of the petal to the center. I just think it looks a lot neater. So this is just my technique. So as I've said, there's no so just go ahead and place your 5 petals like so. So this is what it looks like, and don't tighten the project too much. And now we're just going to go through each petal again. So we're just going over, just to thicken the petals, of course. And this is what it looks like. So just go ahead and create your petals like so. And we are going to be going through each petal about 6 or 7 times, depending on the look that you want. So just go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to let you carry that on, and then I'll show you how to attach your yarn. So just go through each stitch. Like I said, 6 or 7 times. You may have to add another piece of yarn as you go along, if that makes sense. So you might not have enough yarn to go through each petal 6 times or 7 times. So once you've finished your piece of yarn, just tie a knot. I'll show you how to do that when I get back to you to finish off the flower, but just tie both ends together, and then I'll show you how to tidy up your loose end. But then once you've tidied up your first piece of yarn, just repeat exactly what I've just showed you. Place a second piece of yarn exactly the same way that I showed you, and carry on doing your petals. And I'll meet you back to show you how to finish off the flower. Okay, so I finished my petal, and this is what it looks like, and this is what the back looks like. And what I am going to be doing is tying the 2 pieces of yarn that I've not yet tied together, just to finish off this project. Make sure you don't tighten too hard, just so that you don't mess up the flower that you've just done. I'm actually making quite a few knots just to be able to fasten this without messing my project. And now I'm just going to show you on one strand how I am going to be tidying up the loose end. Is just going through like this, and this is going to be good enough for me. And then snipping off the yarn, and just repeat this process for all your loose ends, and you'll be good. So this is how I've created my flower. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Again, I don't know exactly how many flowers I will be having in total. Make sure you check my blog. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.